Thanks for joining us on Aso Briefing today. I am Joy Annie. Let's begin with the headlines. President Tinubu hosts reconciliation talks to resolve Rivers political crisis. Vice President Kashim Shettima urges leaders to drive economic renewal through blended finance green investment. A new NLDC raises alarm over soaring global drug use and impact on Nigeria. And on business, NAPC talent export hub to boost foreign earnings in global trade. And now straight to business. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hosted a reconciliation meeting on Thursday night at the presidential villa in Abuja, bringing together all the figures in the Rivers State political crisis. Now, the meeting also marks the second time Governor Fubara will be seen meeting with the president, who suspended him, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, and the Rivers Assembly while declaring emergency rule in the state. Now, President Tinubu attributed his action to the inability of the governor and the state assembly to find ways to work together and the security situation in the state, amongst other things. Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike, Speaker Martins Amewule, and other Rivers State Assembly members attended the closed-door session.
All agreed to work together with the governor, and the governor also agreed to work together with all of us who are members of the same political family. Yes, just like humans, you have a disagreement, and then you also have a time to also settle your disagreement, and that has been finally concluded today, and we have come to report to Mr. President that is what we have agreed. So for me, everything is over, and enjoy everybody who believe to work with us to also work together with everybody. That there's no more acrimony, there's nothing to say we are disagreeing. We have all agreed on everything. So we thank God. For me, it's a day we have to thank Almighty God.
For me, it's very important that this day has come to be. What we need for the progress of Rivers State is peace. And by the special grace of God this night, with the help of Mr. President and the agreement of the leaders of the state, including our leader, peace has returned in Rivers State. We'll do everything within our power to make sure that we sustain it this time around. Thank you.
Meanwhile, President Tinubu has signed into law 4 reform bills, declaring that it marks a turning point in the nation's fiscal direction, as it also signals Nigeria's readiness for modern economic growth and international investment. Following his actions for 4 tax reform bills, key revenue-generating agencies, including the Nigeria Customs Service, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and several federal ministries and agencies may lose their tax collection mandates. The development, which establishes the Nigerian Revenue Service as the sole body responsible for collecting federal chargeable taxes, is expected to trigger major restructuring across federal revenue architecture. The president acknowledged the complexities involved in tax reforms, but praised stakeholders for demonstrating leadership and courage through the process. Now, Thursday's signing comes nearly 2 years after President Tinubu, on July 7, 2023, approved the establishment of a presidential committee on fiscal policy and tax reforms. He appointed Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, a fiscal policy partner and Africa tax leader at PricewaterhouseCoopers, as committee chairman. It came hours after he signed 4 executive orders suspending the 5% excise tax on telecommunication services and the excise duty escalation on locally manufactured vehicles. Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima, represented by Dr. Tope Fausa, has urged leaders to move beyond maintaining resilience, and instead engineer renewal, mobilizing blended finance, attracting private capital to infrastructure and green energy. It also strengthens value chains via the AFCFTA and scaling digital trade platforms like PAPSIS. He stressed that this transformation must be inclusive, particularly benefiting youth, SMEs, and women entrepreneurs. Shettima stressed that Nigeria stands ready to deepen its partnership with Afrexim Bank to advance Africa's development agenda, especially infrastructure, trade finance, and green transition.
Let me begin by expressing our profound gratitude to Afrexim Bank. Since its foundation here in Abuja in 1993, Afrexim Bank has grown from a regional trade financier into a continental development anchor. It has mobilized and disbursed more than $100 billion across Africa and over $52 billion to Nigeria, more than any other country on the continent.
Echoing this approach, CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso praised Afrexim Bank's engineered resilience, anticipating crisis, building buffers, diversifying risk, and emphasized the importance of transparent governance and consistent stakeholders' communication for long-term institutional strength.
Afrexim has emerged as more than an average financial institution. It has become a trusted partner, a convener of ambition, and a catalyst for change, shaping strategy, enabling execution, and elevating African agency across the globe.
Vice President Kashim Shettima reframed Afrexim Bank's role from a financier of survival to a catalyst for Africa renewal, highlighting digital platforms, institutional strengthening, and inclusivity as the key, with PAPSS as a core enabler and Nigeria's robust domestic reforms. Abuja's message was clear: Africa is not just bouncing back, it is reinventing itself. Away to Kwali now, where Mr. Nuhu Daniel, Speaker of the Kwali Legislative Arm, has emerged as the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Kwali Area Council for the upcoming FCT Area Council election. He was declared the winner through consensus. The Kwali primaries initially delayed due to logistic issues were scheduled to Thursday. Dr. Akombo Benedict, chairman of the Electoral Committee, announced that Mr. Nuhu Daniel scored and secured 50 votes. In an interview with Newsmen, Mr. Nuhu Daniel, the Kwali APC flag bearer and Speaker of the Kwali Legislative Arm, called on other aspirants to join him in delivering the APC to victory in the upcoming elections. Now, the Nigerian Armed Forces has initiated a community diplomacy campaign aiming to strengthen collaboration with local communities across the country to enhance national security, peace building and development. As part of this effort, the military is urging citizens, especially the youth, to embrace patriotism and actively contribute to nation building. Elizabeth Kasham has the details.
Leading the media team on the community diplomacy campaign to Ikeja and Ojo local government areas of Lagos State, Major Ayo Omojokun, representing the Director of Defense Media Operations, stressed the importance of civil-military cooperation, noting that the military is working tirelessly to safeguard the nation's territorial integrity.
It's not everything that you see on social media that you have to work on. It's not everything that you listen on social media that is true. Anybody that puts his life on social media will see social what? Social attack and disaster. So it's not everything. Even me, I might be there, but I don't believe there's a way you verify your news. So when you give a fake news to someone, you also believe it. And those are what our youth are listening to today. As we talk about security, please, it is very important, man. You talk about people coming into the, that's why I said I know your neighbors. We are all working tirelessly, and also everything is working in this country. So far we are together today, we are still working. The security is working, the government is working. If the government or the security is not working today, we will not be yet sitting down. You know what is happening in other African countries and neighboring countries, also in the East and the West. Please, I want to ensure us that we are all for you and remain calm with you.
Speaking to journalists, the Vice Chairman of Ikeja Local Government, Mr. Yomi Mayungwe, commended the Nigerian military for its efforts and pledged the Council's full cooperation with its initiatives.
Military people, everybody's business, not that. And people are more conscious now of the happenings in their locality. And even the representative that came for the meeting would rather take it down to the people at home. So it is a good idea for them thought it wise to come and engage our people at the grassroots.
Also speaking on behalf of the residents, the Secretary of the Community Development Committee, Alhaji Sulukadin, calls for regular community engagements to strengthen civil-military relations and promote mutual trust.
This type of engagement is very important, and it should not be quarterly. It should be a continuous exercise, so that firstly, they will eliminate the fear that military are coming. If there is cordial relationship, they'll get more information. They'll be free, even they'll be freer to pass a very strong and reliable information to them more than the police.
The Nigerian Armed Forces had in May 2025 launched a sensitization program as part of its non-kinetic strategies in addressing security challenges and build lasting peace by fostering stronger ties with communities and promoting patriotic values among the youth. Elizabeth Kasham, Aso Television News.
Now, similarly, the chairman of Ojo Local Government Area of Lagos State, Olushola Idowu, says that positive community engagement remains the most effective way to communicate vital information. Speaking to newsmen during the Nigerian Armed Forces Community Development Campaign, the chairman noted that fostering closer interactions would help citizens better understand and relate with the military.
Right now that the militaries are not people they can run for, they must join hands with them. So that is one. I mean, by coming closer to them, they know they can easily relate well. So that has taken is a very good one. Two, by coming to engage them, to let them know that, oh, this thing you can come to them and say it, you can report, they will take it up. It's a confidence, they are imposing confidence in the people, and it's a very good one. So today's engagement is very good, and we want more of it.
Major Ayo Omojoku and Lieutenant Cynthia Akko, while engaging various stakeholders, including religious and traditional leaders, highlighted the Nigerian military's operational activities and civil-military cooperation initiative, while emphasizing the positive impact of these programs on communities across the country.
In order to stop crime, the youth are being used. So we partner with some NGOs and community organizations to train youth in skills like tailoring, carpentry, and ICT. All this have been done in all our operation area. Any operation that the military is doing, we organize all these things. Also, what we are doing now is public sensitization campaign. We educate people on security awareness. We also promote community responsibility in security, in national security. Knowing yourself has already helped us, because when you don't know your, how can I put it? If you know your neighbor, you also help your own personal security. So it's very important that your own information will help us to do our own jobs.
Also, digital exposure without digital safety. Nigerian youths are highly active online, often without sufficient knowledge of cybersecurity, making them target for scams, cyberbullying, and online radicalization. Role of youth in peace building. With the right mindset and awareness, young Nigeria can be key drivers of community peace, security initiative, and national progress. The common security threats facing Nigerian youth: cultism and gang violence in schools and neighborhoods, cybercrime and online scams like the Yahoo Yahoo, the hacking, the phishing. You know, so many young Nigerian youths, they are into this Yahoo Yahoo because of the desire for quick wealth. And we as parents, we need to talk to them. Just look out for what your children are doing. This will reduce a whole lot of insecurity and criminality in the country. Electoral violence and political thuggery. Because of their energetic, their physical energetic, the bad gangs are easily to offer them their mouth-watering offer, and before you know it, they fall into such people. And we as the parents, we are the one that can encourage our children to desist from such acts.
The military diplomacy campaign is currently happening. Now coming up on Aso Briefing, UNODC raises alarm over soaring global drug use and impact on Nigeria. Plus business and more stories. To stay with us.
We were warned about this marriage. Because we did not listen, the young maiden is dead.
Nana, come here. Hi. Why do you speak so freely with a stranger from Ajan?
We were just talking about offering Utikijak a seat on the council.
May God be praised. He has 2 wives. So why are you making it look like it is a big deal?
Many thanks for staying there. Now to the rest of the stories. The Senate has given NNPCL a 10-day ultimatum over 210 trillion naira financial discrepancies. Now, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Public Accounts, Senator Wadada Aliyu, made this known during public hearing in Abuja. Senator Aliyu had issued a 10-working-day ultimatum to the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the NNPCL, to appear before it and account for financial discrepancies amounting to over 210 trillion naira in the company's audited statement spanning from 2017 to 2023. The ultimatum followed a request made by the NNPCL GMD for an extension of 2 months to enable him to gather relevant documents. Now, the Senate had previously given a 1-week deadline to the company to honor the investigative hearing.
Respected audience, you've all heard the literature of that letter. First and foremost, this committee is not expecting documents from NNPC today, but rather answers to the 11 questions we issued them the last time they were here. 2, for a corporate body like NNPC to ask for 2 months as a period for them to be able to respond to queries that emanated from their own books. I think accordingly, public funds, and that's what we're here to protect as your representatives. With due respect, unless if you want to second the motion.
If the company fails to honor the July 10 deadline, the committee may invoke legislative sanctions, including issuing a warrant of arrest or recommending punitive action through plenary resolutions. Now, the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, UNODC, has raised concerns over rising global drug use driven by global growing instability and organized crime. In its World Drug Report 2025 released today shows that 316 million people, 6% of the global population aged 15 to 64, used illicit drugs in 2023, with cannabis remaining the most abused substance. In Nigeria, drug use has reached alarming levels according to UNODC, with 14.4% of the population consuming drugs, nearly 3 times of the global average. Over 3 million Nigerians live with drugs use disorders, and 1 in 3 users require treatment, highlighting a major gap in public health services. The report also noted that a 34% rise in global cocaine production, with traffickers expanding into African markets. Nigeria is heavily affected by cannabis and pharmaceutical opioid abuse, particularly tramadol. UNODC warned that limited access to treatment in Africa is worsening the crisis, urging governments to invest in health-based and evidence-driven responses. Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, Mrs. Nonye Ayeni, has expressed optimism that its talent export hub would increase the nation's foreign exchange earnings in global trade. Mrs. Ayeni in Abuja during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Council and the Managing Director of Terra Work, Mr. Femi Taiwo, assured of economic buoyancy through adequate talent export. Ile Emeje, our business correspondent, has that details.
We will also take them to market digitally.
The Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, NEPC, Mrs. Nonye Ayeni, in her remarks during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the Council and Terrawork, said the initiative is in line with plans to implementing the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu for a sustainable economy.
And if you do this and get it well done, you can see banks log into it, you can see technology companies abroad log into it, you can see a whole lot log into this. Because once it's structured and it's backed up by the federal government, then definitely the sky is the limit.
Speaking in an interview at the sideline, Mrs. Ayeni disclosed